Not So Scary Truth About Climate Change, authored by John Stossel via Epoch Times. United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, says it will take trillions of dollars to solve the climate change. And then he says, there is not enough money in any country in the world to actually solve this problem. So now what? Kerry has little understanding of money or how it's created. It appears he's a multimillionaire because he married a rich woman. Now he wants to take more of people's money and in order to, he claims, affect climate change. Bjorn Lomborg points out that there are better things society should spend money on. Lomborg acknowledges that a warmer climate brings problems. As temperatures get higher, seawater, like everything else, expands. So we're going to maybe see 3 feet of sea level rise. And then they say, so everybody who lives within 3 feet of the sea level, you'll have to move. Well, no, if you actually look at what people do, they build dikes and so they don't have to move. People in Holland did that years ago. A third of the Netherlands is below sea level. In some areas, it's 22 feet below, and yet the country thrives. And that's the way to deal with climate change, adjust to it. Fewer people are going to get flooded every year, despite the fact that you have much higher sea level rise. The total cost for Holland over the last half century is about $10 billion, says Lomborg. Not nothing, but very little for an advanced economy over 50 years. For saying things like that, Lomborg is labeled the devil, quote unquote. The problem here is unmitigated scaremongering, he replies. A new survey shows that 60% of all people in rich countries now believe it's likely or very likely that unmitigated climate change will lead to the end of mankind. And this is what you get when you have constant fear-mongering in media. Some people now say they will not have children because they're convinced that climate change will destroy the world. Lomborg points out how counterproductive that would be. He said, we need your kids to make sure the future is better. He acknowledges that climate warming will have people as victims. And as temperatures go up, we're likely to see more people having heat stroke. And this absolutely is true. You hear this all the time, but what is underreported is the fact that 9 times as many people die from cold weather. As temperature goes up, you're going to see fewer people die from cold. Over the last 20 years, because of temperature rises, we have seen about 116,000 more people victims to heat, about 283,000 fewer people victims from the cold. That's rarely reported in the news. And when the media does not fret over deaths from heat, they grab at other possible threats. CNN claims that climate change is fueling extremism. BBC says a shifting climate is catalyzing infectious disease. U.S. News and World Report says climate change will harm children's mental health. Lomborg replies, it's very, very easy to make this argument that everything is caused by climate change if you don't have the full picture. He points out that we rarely hear about positive effects of climate change like global greening. That's good. We get more green stuff on the planet. My argument is not that climate change is great or overall positive. It's simply that, just like everything, it has pluses and minuses. Only reporting on the minuses and not emphasizing worst-case outcomes is not a good way to inform people. Only emphasizing worst-case outcomes is not a good way to inform the people. And this is from Epoch Times on Zero Hedge, Tyler Durden. This is authored by John Stossel. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.